Hi. Hello, everyone. My name is Paulus. I'll be your host, the moderator for this panel. And please give a huge round of applause for people who played in the OG Harry Potter. That's Devon Murray and Natalia Tena.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for coming from the outside, sunny outside, to sit here with us.
Yes.
I'm just like a good host, I'm pouring some water, still one, if
Great
you wish
host.
so. So, guys, how has been Lithuania treating you so far? Did you manage to see anything? Did you manage to taste anything?
Yes, we've done lots of that. You got here, what did you get here?
I got here on Thursday and I met up with some friends. We went off, had some Lithuanian food, some Lithuanian beer, and then...
Done a lot of Lithuanian beer.
We have,
I did
a
some
lot.
fire water last night. I tried this kind of thyme and honey liquor that you guys have. That was interesting. And
It is.
On Friday we went off like exploring like the city.
Yeah.
And what I loved about the city is that for a city it's like so quiet. Like there's no horns like every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
There's no sirens going off, and it's just such a beautiful, pretty city.
But no, there were some events yesterday, so some of the streets were closed, so half marathon, so that's why it might have been a little bit too quiet.
Right.
So like the marathon was on, and our agent was like putting his hand out like high five, and he ended up like whacking some poor lady's head, and her earphones fell out, and I think she said, what was it? You're an ignoramus of a woman, or no, an ignoramus of a man.
Yeah, one of them. I mean, we need to choke him. Honestly, he's terrible.
He needs to be choked.
Absolutely terrible. But yeah, the marathon. What I loved about the marathon actually is I went for a walk and I saw that there were these people on the side of the road, like drumming, like animating. It made me want to cry. It was really sweet. There was one person with just a sign going, "You're doing great." I was like, who are these people? Like these hype. It was really sweet. Amazing.
Yeah, it was because when I was going to the dinner, I was also high-fiving some people who was just running and struggling. I think that's a nice thing to do for the people. So, guys, let's start at the beginning. Let's start at the beginning of the saga of the series. So, do you remember? We may start with Devon because he was still a child when he first joined Harry Potter cast. So, what was it like to be cast to this thing? And did you know how big it was already? Because some of the books were already there before they did the movie. So, did you understand the scale of the project that you're joining?
So I'd never heard of Harry Potter. I'm dyslexic, so I'd never read the books. And I was at that age when I kind of felt too cool for anything to do with Potter. And my character was originally cast as an English boy. So J.K. Rowling said, absolutely not. He's an Irish character. He needs to be played by an Irish kid. So this is like a month and a half before we started filming. And they were like, oh my God, what are we going to do? We need a new character. So they started watching like all the Irish movies, all the Irish TV shows to try and find like an Irish kid. And J.K. Rowling watched a movie called Angela's Ashes that I was in like as a little child. And
Very good film. Intense, but good.
depressing.
I think it's already classic. I think it's considered to be a very good film, like drama.
So J.K. Rowling saw me in that. She called up the casting agent and the director and producers. And she was like, look, I found him. I found Seamus. We've got to fly him over. So they flew me over for a screen test. And I met J.K. Rowling. I didn't know who the lady was. Then I met Dan, Rupert, and Emma on set. So for a screen test, it's like you've got to go there to make sure that you don't make them look bad and that you don't look weird standing beside them. Yeah. So I said hello to them, and I walked over to Chris Columbus, the director. And I thought his name was Harry Potter. So I went over and I said, hiya, Harry Potter. I'm Devon Murray. Nice to meet you. And they were looking for a stupid Irish kid, and they found a stupid Irish kid.
So, Natalia, you were already, you were not in your childhood years. You were already 20-something when you joined the...
Yeah, I was more in the adult world. Yeah.
Yeah, and you were already an actress.
Yeah. I was doing my own thing. Yeah.
So how was it for you? I think you were, it was fifth movie or fourth movie that you joined. So
in the
I think it was
Phoenix.
a bit different for you to join the cast, right?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, for me, it was just I didn't really know what it was. Like, I did read the book, but like you hadn't read them when I started, then I did read all of them, and they are amazing, obviously. But I didn't really understand the scale of it till I was on set and I saw how fucking huge the set was. I could just about find where the canteen and the food was. Like, that was like, where's the food? How do I get there?
That was the most important place in all the studios.
Yeah. Like, where is it? But I think for me, I kind of realized how big it was when premieres. Like the first premiere I went to, I was like, wow, okay, this is a thing. This is like a really big thing. And then also now, like, coming to conventions and seeing that it's still going.
Yeah,
The premieres were like so strange. I remember for the very first premiere, we were like a couple of miles away. Like, obviously my heart was already racing on the way. But like a few miles away, you just hear the crowd. And like, I was shitting myself, like petrified. I could barely breathe. I just sat in the car like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Nobody's going to know who I am. Nobody's going to know who I am. I got out of the car, and it wasn't even that they were shouting Seamus, they were shouting Devon. So myself, my mum, my dad, and my agent at the time, we just kind of all looked at each other and said, wow, this is insane. And then like the last movie premiere was like out of this world. We had a 3/4 of a mile red carpet from Trafalgar Square down to Leicester Square.
Huge. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, hundreds and hundreds of
all of
thousands of
London was
people.
basically broken.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, so you've joined the cast. You started playing the characters. I think it was. I might think that it might have been easier for you because you've already a bit experienced actress. You've also tried being an actor before that. But what were the specific challenges to play in these movies? Because, well, you know, I think there's a lot of CGI, bigger sets, costumes, and stuff like that. So, what were the hardest things for you, Devon, to make yourself into Seamus Finnegan?
To be honest, nothing. I just went in there and I was myself. I was Devon Murray. I wasn't Seamus Finnegan. I didn't have to act. It was amazing. And I just got paid to turn up and hang out with my friends all day. The hardest thing was not to get in trouble. So like we were always like up to mischief, every single one of us. You've got to think you get like you get 20 or 30 kids at 11 years of age. It's kind of hard to look after them and tell them what they have to do.
I can't imagine being the second AD on that.
No, but Chris Carreras, like he was like, we were terrified of him. So we'd always like be getting in trouble. But the second Chris Carreras blew his little whistle, that was it. Like you'd hear a pin drop in the Great Hall. So the hardest thing was just kind of what I did find really weird was like we'd be doing like the Quidditch sequence or the scenes, and what kind of used to blow my mind is that we had like all the assistant directors running around with like these big long sticks and a tennis ball on the end of it. It's like that's what our eye lines were, and then you get to watch it in the movies and you're like, what? How have they just done that? But no, it wasn't hard at all. It was very, very simple.
Yeah, CGI for me was a bit hard, like just when I was on a broomstick. But actually, that broomstick stuff was fun. I actually found it harder when I had to fight fire dragons outside Mrs. Weasley's house. And we did it at night. It was like 3 in the morning. It was like a few days of night shoots, which is always hard because your body just doesn't want to do that. It was really cold, and obviously we can't see the snakes. Yeah. And me and David Thewlis, my husband, Lupin, were just there, like, and I was like, "This is ridiculous." Like, I felt like a bit of an idiot because I couldn't quite see, and I'm just there, like, "What? I don't know what's happening." And I just want to go to bed. And that was a hard night, and also I didn't know. Yeah, I couldn't judge it, and luckily we had a good, like Greg was there, obviously,
Greg.
yeah. Kind of stunt man, so he kind of helped us through it.
Yeah, so that is interesting because I think when you're training for acting in like drama schools, etc., you learn to work with invisible things as well. So I think that also helps in these kind of situations. Natalia, Tonks has some unique traits, like she can change the hair color. She's what's the name of the
Metamorphic you.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. So how would that achieve technically on the set? Were there a lot of CGI in these things, or were you just changing color of your hair every?
I really wanted them to change my hair color, but they were worried that maybe one day we'd have to do one thing, one day we have to do another. So they kind of they wigged me up, and so that I think they dyed maybe my hair a little bit lighter at the front. I can't remember, and they made that purple, and then they'd have a wig. So they had a purple wig and a red wig and a white wig, and then for the like CGI when I turned into an animal and like I don't know, pick that. They put like blue dots on, like weird little blue dots, and then it's just CGI, and you have to do it.
Yeah, because I think one of the best things was that when the snout of a pig, I think that's the word. So, but yeah, let's move back to Devon. And yeah, well, you started playing in the saga when you were 11 years old. That's that's not even a teenager. That's still a child.
Only a baby.
And you know, children tend to go to school and do some school stuff, etc. So, how was it different for you? Did you, okay, that might sound very personal. If you don't want, you can answer. Did you finish high school?
Okay, so I didn't finish. I left school when I was 15. Like, it was like a month before my 16th birthday. They wanted me to go back to school, like education, for a month. So we just kind of said, oh yeah, of course he will. He'll go back to school for a month. I didn't. But, so we had private tutors on set. So there was maybe maximum of 3 kids to a tutor. Usually it was like kind of 1-on-1 or maybe 2-on-1.
That's incredible, actually.
Oh, it was amazing.
Like, educationally.
Like for me, I was dyslexic. I was one of the worst students in the class back in Ireland. But I learned so much more than I ever could in like a few years having like 1-on-1 tutors than I ever could have in mainstream school. So when we first started Potter, I think I did like 3 days in real school. The following year, I did like maybe 6 or 7 days in real school again. The following year, I did like 5 or 6 days in real school. And then I had exams when I was 15. So we all had like about nearly a year hiatus between, I think it was like the second movie and the third movie, because everybody was like doing exams then. So I was in school for maybe like 2 or 3 months back in Ireland, which is very, very strange. I hadn't been to like a normal school since I was like 5 or 6.
Were people weird to you? Like, was it weird?
What I found the weirdest, like the people were sound. The teachers were very awkward. And then at the time we had to have like drivers with us. We had to have security because we all got threatened by the Al Qaeda.
What?
Yeah, we all got threatened by Al Qaeda.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
sure.
we had security, and it was just kind of really, really strange. And at the time we also had stalkers in between the second and the third movie. So we had a lot of security around the school.
Why were they what was their
So after
issue?
September the 11th, and because Warner Brothers is one of the biggest American companies, Harry Potter was like the biggest thing in the world. It was like such an easy target for them. So they called us all out. But you know what they did? So in the studios, nothing really changed. We got like new barriers at the front. We had a man walking with a dog, and that was it. So Al Qaeda had no chance.
It's like being a U.S. president's son, I think, at some point. So, are there any things that you, when looking back and looking at the way that your career and teenage life went, are there any things that you miss particularly?
Oh yeah, I miss, say, during Harry Potter, I was living in the UK basically. So I'd fly over to the UK on a Sunday and fly back to Ireland on a Friday. What I missed the most was that when I would come home to Ireland, all my friends would be talking about like, oh, we did this during the week in school, we did that, we went off drinking out in the forests, or we did whatever they were doing. And I'd come home to Ireland and like I'd miss that. I wanted to be like out with my friends doing what normal 15, 16, 17-year-old kids do. And that's the one thing I regret about Potter. Now, Potter was obviously like amazing and I wouldn't change it for the world, but it's the one thing that I missed. I feel like that I missed out on was like the normal like puberty years, the normal rebellion years. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's. But you know, you did some things that were not, I think, usual for children at 12 or 13. So.
No, and like a lot of people wish they had a life like that, and even I would have wished to have like a life like that. But when you're in it, you realize how much you're missing out on.
There's another very interesting thing for me, and my wife, who's a huge Harry Potter fan, the books and the movies as well, asked me this, and I thought I have to ask you this. there is this saying that if you like sausage, you shouldn't see how sausage is made.
Right.
So,
Well, actually, I love sausage, and I have made sausage, and I still love sausage.
you don't want to watch how it's made. So, so yeah, Natalia, you've played not only in Harry Potter, you played Game of Thrones, John Wick, and other movies. But let's talk about this Harry Potter and Game of Thrones thing. When you watch the movies and when you watch the series, etc., do you still see the magic in them, or you can?
Yeah.
You know, they did this to do that, etc., etc.
100%. I still see the magic, but I would say that sometimes when you've just done something similar, like for example, some days when you have a big crowd day and you're filming on set, and I'm like, God, it's hard, and then I watch. Let's say on Game of Thrones, I watched the battle scene and I'm like, fuck, that must have been awful to film. Like, I kind of had those moments, definitely, yeah. But then other than that, I get lost in it like everyone else. Although there are a few times when I get very annoyed. Like, for example, when I see two parents, let's say there's two parents in a thing, and they have a brown-eyed kid, but they have blue eyes, I get really angry because I'm like, that's not real, scientifically, and or like weird little things. Like, for example, when I see people, I played the violin, and I see people playing the violin badly on any series, it makes me really angry. It takes me out of it because I'm like, nope, I don't believe that.
What about you, Devon? Do you still see? Can you watch the movies and not think about how it's made? Especially Harry Potter movies, let's say. Do you still watch them?
No,
What was the last
not.
time you watched them?
So I've only ever watched the Harry Potter movies once at the premieres. Like, for me, it's...
You haven't watched
really,
it since?
No, I do. I watched the very first movie on Christmas Day, but that's the only one. I just find it really, really strange. Like, I was going through puberty on the first and the second movie. So, like, I'm pretty sure you can hear my voice break during the movies.
Yeah.
So it's really, really cringy, and nobody likes to watch themselves back normally. No. You certainly don't want to watch back like a childhood version of you. Like you're chubby, you've got it's just not nice.
Yeah.
But
I had that with About a Boy, and it's like I had lice and dreads, and I was chubby and weird, and it's like it's basically like when you get a new partner and you go home, and your mum or dad is trying to show pictures of you as a kid, and you're like, please stop. It's like that.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
now the whole world can watch you like in your childhood.
It's terrible. Like you start dating a new girl, and it's like you can literally Google my name and you can find every single bad photo of me in the world.
Yeah.
It's a bit strange, I think, having this out in the open. So, Devon, when people think about your character, especially the ones who watched your movies when you played Seamus Finnegan, I think one word is synonymous with your characters, like explosions, in deliberate explosions.
What I like to think of my character as being an alcoholic Irish terrorist. Seriously.
In the shape of a small child.
An 11-year-old child trying to turn water into alcohol.
Did you approach it like that when creating the character?
Yeah, I guess. I thought it was amazing. I've got to keep this stereotype alive. And what I always find so strange is that if it was like any race, any other country in the world, people would be in uproar. They'd be so angry. But because it's the Irish, it's like, but it's true. It's true. After the first movie came out, it was in the newspapers. What was it? Irish Harry Potter kid turns water into alcohol and blows stuff up. We are so proud. So the Irish have a sense of humor. We loved it. We took it and we ran with it. So yeah, my character, he's fun.
So what was it like to film those scenes? So didn't it look for you like it's a bit dangerous? Because, well, there were some explosions and you were working with some explosives on set, so...
Yeah, so it was on my 13th birthday. We were filming in Professor Flitwick's classroom, and that was the very first time I got to blow something up. And I'm doing Wingardium Leviosa. So how they got the explosion to happen was they had a wooden box with 24 small holes in it, and they put in the old cameras where you'd hold the flash over here and you take your photograph and wait a half an hour to get your picture. So they had 24 of those old bulbs. They put it into this box and they rig it all up to the electricity. So they never tested it before we started filming. And I do my line, Wingardium Leviosa. And then they pressed the button, a big explosion, but it was a proper explosion. So the glass went flying everywhere. There was glass in my eye. It cut like my face everywhere. I was shitting myself. So obviously I had to go off stage, went up to hair and makeup, went into the medical department, and I think it was like later on that evening, we went back on set to try it. And I'm like, Wingardium Leviosa. I'm shitting like a proper terrified. So Chris, the director, was like, look, not your fault, understandable. We'll just keep on doing it over and over and over again until you get used to it, and then I'll press the button when I think you're ready. So that's what they did. We were doing it for like maybe an hour of me just going over and over and over again, and then he pressed the button and it worked. So it took us like 2 or 3 days to get like all the different angles that we needed. It worked out, like it was good in the end, but it was my 13th birthday and they brought out like a 3-foot chocolate cake. I got to keep the feather that I blew up, and yeah, it was just really cool.
We've talked about CGI a bit, we talked about explosions a bit, but Harry Potter movies, they have very elaborate and amazing sets. Yeah. The sets are just wonderful. Natalia, which of those are do you have any favorites in there to play or to just see, or where there's some kind of moment when you just step onto set and said, wow,
I mean, the Ministry of Magic, when it was like breaking and that was pretty epic.
Did you work in that?
Yeah, I think there was a fight that I had to do, so it's like it went through that. But I remember just seeing it all collapse. That was very, that was very awe-inspiring. I mean, other than that, I did quite a lot of stuff in the real Muggle world, which is a bit boring, isn't it? So I didn't get all the fun. And I was in Hogwarts, but I was dead, and it was at the end, and that was also completely kind of broken up. So I didn't get the full fun like he did.
So yeah, what was it like to be on the Hogwarts set, because that's also amazing?
Yeah, so like from the very beginning, like every day we'd see like a new set made, and it was like wow, like fantastic. So we couldn't get to go on the set for the Great Hall until we were filming it. So as you see us walking through the Hogwarts doors in the movie, that was the very first time we actually got to walk in, and we're like, oh my god, this is like insane. So that was the very first time we saw that. I loved that set, but my favorite set was Hagrid's hut. Like, it was tiny. It was so small. It was like, do you remember down the runway and over to the right hand side? That's where they had it. And then they had like the Batman.
I never went there.
They had like the Batcave. Oh. But yeah, no, Hagrid's hut was amazing. And the Ministry of Magic, that was like proper nice.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but also the Ministry of Magic was also featured on Fantastic Beasts, right?
Yes, it was, I think. Yeah.
Did you watch those movies as well?
Yes, I did.
Just the first.
I loved the first one.
So what was it like? Did you watch it like with a little bit of envy, because the technologies were already better there, so they could make better sets and more interesting
No.
stuff?
I just came in like, I'm really interested to see like a Harry Potter version of that world, in a different time, in a different city. That I was just like, I can't wait. Like, what's going to happen?
I was so jealous. I was like, I went to the premiere and I'm like, this is going to be the worst movie ever. I don't want to see it. No, it's going to be terrible. And then 5 minutes into it, I was like, yeah, I'm a much bigger fan of this than I am of our movies, because I'm not in it. So I watched the first movie and I watched the second movie. And then with everything that went on with Johnny Depp, and they weren't bringing him back, I was like, no, not a chance of me watching the next. Yeah.
So there were also huge sets, elaborate sets, CGI, makeup and everything. But there were also some interesting props, like, magic wands, flying brooms, stuff like that. Are there any props from the movie that you still keep? Or
You weren't allowed to keep anything.
You weren't allowed to keep?
Nope.
But is there anything you wish you have kept and you were allowed to?
I do. Basically, one day, because I play the accordion, and in the room of requirement, I'm not in that, but there was a guy there, and he was like one of the prop guys who I was friends with, and he's like, Nat, I'm going to steal an accordion for you. And he put it in my trailer, and I was so close to putting it in my car at the end of the day, but I was like, if I get caught with this, I'm fucked. I'm like, that is bad. I mean, actually, I could have done it because the accordion doesn't really feature in anything. It was just part of the stuff that was there. I wish I'd taken that.
So for me, it's quite different than that. I have so much stuff from Harry Potter. Yeah, so I have the feather that I blew up. I got to keep the rings that I wear in the movies. I have like all the house ties. I have the original house tie, like the Hogwarts tie with like the Hogwarts crest on it. I have like some amazing ornament that was on Dumbledore's desk. I have the howler from the second movie.
How did you get this?
People like me. I'm Irish.
Yeah. No, but is it?
And I robbed some of it.
Yeah, but is it more like by the time I got there, they were shutting stuff down? Like, was
No, they were shutting stuff down from day one. Yeah. I don't know. I just asked. I said, can I have that? Can I have this? Can I have that? So I have like the owl exams. I have like, what else? Oh, all the money, like lots of the different coins from like Gringotts. I've got, what else do I've got like so many like random things at home. Oh, my favorite thing. I've got a couple of favorite things. Like on the very first Harry Potter movie, I'd never lost a baby tooth until we started filming. And all of a sudden they were falling out like every week. So I had to keep on getting fake teeth made. So I have all of those. And then in the first movie, I also had to have a bald patch made. If they had waited till now, I would have had a real bald patch. But they made a bald patch because I take the hair from the back of my head and put it onto my eyebrows. So I got to keep that. And it's like really, really strange. It has like freckles on my bald patch. It's really weird. Yeah, I've got some weird...
That
weird
sounds
things.
very weird,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so how strict was the how strictly did you have to look at the script? Were there any improvised things during the
I mean,
during the
definitely not
filming?
for me.
Oh yeah, all the time.
All the-
Yeah.
So were there any improvised things that came into final cut of the movies?
Yeah, not that I can remember really offhand, but I know it has. I know in the third movie there was one scene and Daniel, so the guy who plays Harry, his dad had a conversation with the producers and he was like, look, so far, like, just for the kids, we need to have something where they're enjoying themselves, they're laughing and having fun. Because like it was a real dark and serious movie. So they ended up putting in a scene where we all take like different sweets and turn into different animals. So like I was told I was turning into a chicken. So I'm like, bark, 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 bark. But when you watch the movie, I'm actually a monkey. So I'm a monkey with like pretending to be a chicken. It's like proper
Really
proper
weird
strange.
monkey.
A very weird monkey. I know Tom, who plays Malfoy, he added in like a couple of different lines. I've added in a couple of random different things. So yeah.
What was the? I think that's more of a more for Devon because well you grew up together. There were like 20 kids growing up from age 11 to age 18 or 19 or something like that. What was the chemistry on set between you? Were you feeling like a classmates or a colleagues or a friends or just someone who's like in the summer camp without too much of adult supervision, etc. So what was it like to be there?
It was more like a family, really. Like we were there for 11 years making the movies. So we'd be there for like maybe in the beginning it was like 6 to 8 months was how long it would take to make a movie. And then from like the fourth movie on, I think it took like maybe 9-10 months to make a movie. So like we were there with each other like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then myself, Matthew, who plays Neville, James and Oliver Phelps, who played the Weasley twins, we'd always kind of like stay in the same hotel. So we ended up having like this different type of bond rather than anybody else. So we'd work with each other all day on set, come back to the hotel, have dinner, go swimming, go out for a few beers as we got older. And it was just like...
It's like flatmates, like flatmates family vibe.
Flatmates,
Yeah.
family, exactly. And it was very strange then when we finished Harry Potter. It was like, you know when you do finish school and you like make these promises, we'll always stay in contact, I love you so much, I'll call you like every week, we meet up every 2 weeks. And that doesn't happen. Life happens.
Yeah.
We all kind of like go our own different ways. People end up doing like completely different types of work. People move to like different countries, and it's just hard.
Really hard.
Yeah, it is. Well, you played in it's the focus of this series of the saga is magic. So were there any magical things on the set that you remember that it's something different? It's out of this world, but something happened. Were there any unexplainable things that you might have experienced?
I don't remember. No, I mean, no. I mean, for me, what was magical was sometimes seeing like the props. I remember walking to Mrs. Weasley's house, and it was just her thing, like cooking, and it's like, oh, you walk on set, you're like, oh, wow, that's amazing. But yeah, I didn't have like a massive magical moment like that. It was more just little moments like that. Actually, you know what is magical? They managed to train a cat. They trained a cat, Hermione's cat, and I'm like, that is magic. To be able to make a cat do shit is pretty amazing.
What I found like amazing, like absolutely like mind blowing, was on either the first or the second movie when you get to see the Phoenix. Like that shit was real.
Oh yeah.
Like that looked real. So much so that Richard Harris, who played Dumbledore back then, he was 100% convinced that they had trained a Phoenix.
How do you do that?
I don't think they ever told him. Like he was old. But no, it was absolutely like insane. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Another question, it's for Natalia. What does it feel like to have a Lego sculpture?
I think it's. I mean,
made after your
I
character?
think it's fucking mental. It's mental, but I love them. All my godkids have one. I keep getting them and kind of keep giving them.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've got loads of friends that like Lego, so I keep distributing it.
Yeah, it's
It's
amazing.
the first time I've seen it with red hair, though. I've only ever seen it with purple.
Yeah, this
cool.
is a red one. When you have time, have a. And you know, I'm using my position to have this sign. So, Devon, sorry, I don't have a Lego figurine of you. So, Harry Potter movies. I think my colleague Ignas told you yesterday that it's a peculiar thing that.
Bless you.
It's a peculiar thing that in Lithuania we watch Harry Potter movies during Christmas. And like every Christmas, one of the major TV channels, they show all the movies. They show all the movies.
Around Christmas.
Yeah.
I always want to watch one at Christmas. Always.
Usually, why do you think it makes a bit Christmas-like? Because there's a Yule Ball in one of the movies, but some other of the movies, they don't have like
They're
this
not Christmas.
very
Like
Christmas
Bird
spirit.
movie isn't Christmassy. But I think so.
Well, family. I mean, it's about family and about
and care and love and magic.
there's a feel-good element to it, and it is magic. And Christmas is also magic.
Yeah.
Santa is magic.
And Chris Columbus directed the first two movies, and he always likes to have that kind of like magical family love, caring, and that Christmassy type spirit. So in the first movie, they do mention like Christmas. So then
The Great Hall does get decorated, doesn't it?
they decorate it for Christmas, yeah. So it has that kind of like Christmassy feel to it. So you look at it now, at Christmas time, what movies do most people watch? Harry Potter, like the first Harry Potter movie, and Home Alone.
Die Hard.
Well, Die Hard. But
Die
I'm talking
Hard.
about,
Die Hard
Trading
is a Christmas
Places.
movie.
Coming to America.
I'm talking about Chris Columbus, the director. So he did like those two movies, like the Harry Potter movies and the Home Alones. So like he has like almost the monopoly.
Monopoly of Christmas movies, which are not usually. Okay, my last question for you: what were the out of all the movies that you played in, or even because you joined not in the first movie, what was the best episode for you? What's the small thing, etc.? For example, for me, I could tell my favorite is when during the Yule Ball, I realized that the singer of Twisted Sister is Jarvis Cocker.
Yeah.
So that was magical for me. So what were these? Did you have any?
I love
do you
the
have any
mermaids.
episodes?
I really love the mermaids.
The mermaids,
All
right.
that stuff. I don't know what, like, the fourth one is, I think, my favorite film. I think because, again, you get to see other kids from other universes and they come in and it's like, oh, wow, like, there's a Hogwarts in France or Bulgaria, and yeah.
And like we got kind of like stale with the characters. Like we've known each other for so many years, and then on the fourth movie we had so many different people come on set. So we were able to like make new friends and make new memories. So yeah.
So we have some 10 minutes for audience questions, if you wish. There's a microphone, and I can see a line forming there almost in an instant, and I think that makes sense.
What's that?
So,
Hi.
Hey,
Cool.
how are you?
Hi. Yeah, so let's get the uncomfortable one out of the way first, all right? Really quick one from me. What would you recommend for Harry Potter fans around the world who really care about trans rights?
Recommend what? Sorry, say it again.
What would you recommend to Harry Potter fans around the world who really care about trans rights?
Oh.
because of the, you know
What I
the situation.
recommend? I have no idea. What do you recommend?
Just you be you. Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we have answered something different?
I have no idea.
I think
Maybe.
that's good of
That's
an
why I
answer.
asked him what,
that's-
Hello?
Hey, how are you?
Hello. So I have a question for Devon and one for Natalia. So for Devon, I read on, I think, Twitter that to make it more authentic, the children did actual homework when they were shooting Harry Potter. Is that true or was that made up?
I think there's like a little bit of truth to that. I know Emma did maybe a little bit of homework when she was filming. I never did. I never did homework. So there was no chance of that ever happening. But I do think that Emma did do some, and maybe like one or two of the other kids may have done some. But not me, ever.
Okay. And for Natalia, what was your like favorite hair color when you like watched the movies? Which do you think suited you the best?
Which one? Say it again?
Which hair color do you think suited you
Oh,
the best?
I think I look great in red. So maybe red?
Did you wanna
Yeah.
did you wanna like actually dye your hair color?
Yeah, I
for
did, but they wouldn't let me because of the changes.
No, what like after the movies, like permanently or?
Oh, no, I've changed my hair so many different times in my life. I've had red hair. In real life, I've had every color hair you can imagine. And I love when they change my hair for a part because it changes how you perceive yourself because you're obviously looking at yourself in the mirror every day looking different, and it's great.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers, thanks.
Hi, I have a question for Nat.
Yes.
Yesterday you told that you would be open to working on the new Harry Potter series.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you wanted to play a professor. So do you know which one would you like to play?
Yes, Professor Trelawney or the Quidditch lady.
Madam
The broomstick flying.
Hooch.
Hooch.
Madam Hooch.
Madam Hooch.
Yeah. I think I'd
Also,
suit those.
For Devon, would you be open to working in the new Harry Potter series?
I guess. Sure, why not? Obviously, I couldn't play a kid. So maybe like Professor Flitwick. We're nearly the same height,
Okay, thank
I
you.
guess. Or McGonagall.
Yeah.
I think I'd do a good McGonagall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
McGonagall's very happy to hear that.
Oh, McGonagall, there we go.
Hey, look at me.
Actually, a few of the questions that I wanted to ask were already answered by you. I actually want to ask Natalia, which of your looks were your favorite, and would you add anything if you would be able to play the character again?
Sorry, what was the first? Sorry, I didn't understand the first bit.
Which look did you like the best
the
of the
look.
character?
I think for the first film, actually. The second one I quite liked, but my mullet was a bit weird. And like without all the makeup and everything, it got to the point where, I don't know if you get this in Lithuania, but sometimes like training hairdressers stop you on the street to help. They're like, oh, can I? And I kept being stopped, like, please, can we help you? Like, this is awful. I'm like, no, this is my job. I have to look like this. And they're like, okay. So that one was the worst, I think, for me.
That was the best and it's most recognizable. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
I want to ask you both, what's your favorite line of your character?
Oh, it's too long ago. There was loads. I think my favorite line, though, of other people, I really like some of Dumbledore's. Dumbledore's are my favorite. I think he's got like the most wisdom. Comes out with some stuff that's just like, yes.
I think my favorite that I said, it's the first line that I said in the movies. It's, I'm half and half. My dad's a muggle, mam's a witch. Bit of a nasty shock for him when he found out.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Wow, this outfit's great. Look at you.
Thank you. Hello. So I wanted to ask if you know the ship Wolf Star.
Say it again, sorry.
The ship Wolf Star.
Wolfstar? No.
So it's a ship between Sirius and Remus.
Between Sirius and Remus?
Sirius and Remus.
Yes.
No, I've never heard of
I'm
that
so sorry. You obviously know more than us. I'm sorry.
one. I've never heard of that.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Okay. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah. So I'm hoping to get that maybe this fast question, or maybe it's a bit more longer. Basically, during the filming of the films, with which actors did you had the most fun time during the filming, and maybe if you have any stories about them, like maybe which was the most memorable actors to be with during the filming?
For me, my husband, I spent the most time with him. David Thewlis, I think he's amazing. And I remember one day he was telling me about when he was filming The Island of Dr. Moreau, and he was telling me some stories of that on set. And it's the moment when Shacklebolt comes in and says, "The ministry has fallen." And I was laughing so much. But you know when you laugh enough, it looks like you're crying. So actually in that scene, I'm laughing, like hysterically. Like it looks like I'm acting great. It's not, it's just me laughing.
I got on with pretty much everybody. But I always got on really well with Robbie Coltrane, who played Hagrid.
yeah.
He was an absolute legend of a man. But I always remember, like, it wasn't actually on set, it was off set. So we came back for the third movie, and day one, he pulls me off I was walking into hair and makeup, and he drags me and brings me into somebody else's changing room and puts Band-Aids or plasters all over my face, and then sends me back into hair and makeup. So that's fine. I walk into hair and makeup, and they're like, "Oh my God, what's happened? What's happened?" I'm like, "I fell off a horse." And like, "What?" So we had the director, producers, medical department, everybody comes down. Robbie Coltrane goes hiding in case he gets in trouble. So I'm thinking, "Oh my God, I've just lost my job. I've just lost my job. I've just lost my job." So like, they're trying to like take the plasters off my face to see like all these cuts and wounds. I'm like, "No, you can't. It's too sore. It's too sore." So then eventually the Robbie Coltrane comes in. He's like, "Oh, I'm only joking." But like, he was always like trying to get up to something and being a little shit.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Nice to see you. So it would be a question more to Natalia about the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So what would you say about the depiction of madness in the Game of Thrones?
Madness?
Yes.
The
It's an awkward question, but...
No, I don't really understand it. I don't, where is madness? Like, can you give me a specific example of what you're thinking about?
I mean, everywhere. Everyone is completely mad in there.
I mean, I don't think they're mad. I think it's a kind of, it's court intrigue, and it's kind of an era. And I think to me, it doesn't come across as mad. It comes across as human beings being awful.
In other words, she is mad in general. So.
Thank you.
Hello. Really nice to have you here in Lithuania. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, you look amazing.
I know that universally the most hated character in Harry Potter series is Umbridge, of course. So my question is, which one of the characters you hate the most after Umbridge?
I've never been asked that question, ever.
Because I know, Devon, you have a quite unpopular opinion. What's your favorite character of the saga?
I suppose you have to hate Voldemort, but then...
No, he's my favorite.
Yeah, okay. Who do I hate the most? I don't like the man that turns into a rat.
You little...
Yes!
That's exactly who I was going to say. Peter Pettigrew.
Yeah,
Peter Pettigrew.
Pettigrew, yeah.
Or... No, I'm not going to say it. Yeah, Peter Pettigrew.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who do you hate?
I believe the Minister of Magic.
Cornelius Fudge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's...
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And that's the whole time we had for our guests. So give a huge round of applause for Devon Murray and Natalia Tena.
Thanks,
Thank you very much.
It's been an honor and a privilege having you here. Please
Thank you.
stay
Bye-bye.
here for different panels and see you sometime soon. Bye.